Okay, I've done. Oh my, I've done so many videos. My voice is getting tired. This should teach me how to speak with my natural voice, which I'm really bad at doing. Okay, so we've done so much with caged. I would say here is the last step. And just a note, you should be everything that we have done so far, you should be able to find in all 12 notes, all 12 keys. Okay, so you should be able to hit all these arpeggios in every shape and on every single note, and that's going to give you a lot of mastery. Now, and I think this is where the cage system really gets so powerful, we want to find not only the arpeggios. So I just played an E-shaped A arpeggio with the third right there, and I can do the minor. We want to relate every one of these chords to a mode, and we want to be able to find not only the notes of the arpeggio, but all the extensions and color tones that we may want to use. So, for example, let's say I am in the key of C, and I'm going to play this E-shaped C arpeggio here on the 8th fret. Okay? The root, the third, and the fifth, those are all notes that are going to sound okay over a C chord. Obviously, because they're part of the chord. But they will also get very boring if that's all you play. What if I want to play the 6th note of the scale, the 6th? Where am I going to find that? Well, the easiest way to find that is to think of it as 2 frets, a major second above the 5th. And there's that 6th. And I don't think the 6th in the key of C is A and then look for that A. I mean, I could do that, but it's just so much easier to know that the 5th is there because I've played these cage shapes so many times. I know that that 6th is 2 frets above the 5th in a major scale. Well, if I wanted to play the major second, where's the major second going to be? It is going to be 2 frets above the root. So anywhere I have a root, I can play 2 frets above and find that second, or also considered the 9th. So there's the second. There's a root, so 2 frets above. There's a root, so 2 frets above. I found the second in 3 different octaves here over this one shape of C. Now I have the second, and I have the 6th. So now I have the root, the third, the 5th, the second, and the 6th. Let's talk about that second one more time. So another way to think of the second is being in a major chord scale, 2 frets above the third. So now I've got lots of places to play that second. I can play, so I'm playing root third, that second's 2 frets below it. There's a third, the second is 2 frets below it. There's a root, the second is 2 frets above it. Okay, I can do that for all the notes. The major 7th in the key of C major is going to be 1 fret below the root, obviously. Right there. Now I have all the 7ths. I can also think of that as a scalar pattern, starting on the 5th, going up to the major 6th to the major 7th. Now we're getting to a point where we're just playing scales fluidly, but we've thought about this in so many different ways that we've mastered it on the, not quite mastered, sorry, mastered on the guitar neck. Now that's just one shape. What happens when I do that with all the shapes? I have the C chord. I have all kinds of roots and 7ths. There's a 6th, there's a second. And I'm just playing around with this C-shaped C. Now I can find all the notes around it as well as the arpeggio, the root, the third, and the 5th. And what's so great about this, now I also know how to resolve notes because I have this root, the third, and the 5th. I know that second's a tension because it's not part of the arpeggio, and I know where to resolve it or how to keep it tense, keep it going. I've got this all at my fingertips now. And I can not only play that C chord in that position, I can move it into the A position, the A-shaped position. I can move it into the G-shaped position. can move it into the E-shaped position, grabbing tensions. I'm not playing anything musical right now, but I'm just showing you how easy it is to get around these notes now. Just completely fluidly. I'm barely even thinking about this. Now to the D-shaped position. Okay, nothing music there. But you see, I just went across the entire neck using arpeggios, C-shaped, C-shaped, A-shaped, G-shaped, E-shaped, D-shaped. And I have all the roots, the thirds, the fifths, and now the tensions. So, you see how powerful that is? I mean, it's just amazing. Once you get this down, you know the guitar neck. We just did the first mode, which is Ionian or major. Now, if you've watched my mode videos, you know all about this, and this isn't going to be hard for you. This is why I did these videos in this sequence, because I really think you got to know those modes. You got to know those other kind of arpeggios, the 2-1, 1-2, and 1-1-1 arpeggios. Now you know the cage, and you can see how all that before is going to lead you to be able to do what we're doing now. So if you're having a problem with this, go back to my other videos. Okay, so that was just the first mode. Now let's go to the Dorian mode, the second, and let's play an E-shaped D minor. Now the special note in Dorian is it has a raised sixth, so it has a major sixth. So again, I take that fifth, and I have that sixth there. Now the major second, which is going to be in the Dorian mode, is just going to be 1 fret below the third now, or 2 frets above the root. We have a minor seventh now instead of a major seventh, so it's going to be 2 frets beneath the roots. There's the roots. Okay, and again, just go through all the notes that you want and find those tensions. The fourth is going to be 2 frets beneath the fifth. Okay, and do that with all the shapes. Do that with the C shape, the A shape, the G shape, the E shape, the D shape. Figure out those tensions in each mode. Now we have the Phrygian mode, so we're going to do an E-shaped E minor, which is good for us. The Phrygian mode has a flat sixth, so whenever I hit a fifth, I have that flat sixth, 1 fret above the fifth. Phrygian mode also has a flat second, so whenever I hit a root, 1 fret above that root is the flat second, or 2 frets beneath the minor third. I can think of it either way. 2 frets beneath the minor third, or 1 fret above the root. It seems overwhelming at first, but if you've already learned the modes and you have those down, and you've learned all the scales I've showed you, all the arpeggios I've showed you, this is something that's definitely attainable. A lot of work to do. Again, not going to happen overnight. Just keep on working on it. If you have any questions, I do the 10-minute, $10 Skype lessons to give you a further explanation if you have specific questions that you want to ask me. Have fun with this. I'm going to do one more lesson just on kind of application and improvisation using these shapes. Okay, this is the last video. Okay, so application. Let's just take the song. I'm just going to do a Gypsy Jazz song. This applies to all different styles, but Gypsy Jazz is what I play. So, Lady Be Good. It's going to start off, you're not familiar with these shapes, but it's G to C7 to G. I'm not going to do the passing chords. I'm going to simplify this. A minor, D, 7, G. The way I play it is. Okay, and for the Gypsy Jazz nerds, yes, I simplified that. I don't want to make things too confusing for people. Okay, this is where caged gets very useful. So I've got, in the beginning, a G chord, followed by a C7, and I want to change the notes that I play when the chord changes. And that's going to be really hard if I'm thinking about the individual notes. If I'm thinking in my head that first chord has a G, a B, a D, an F sharp, it's this mode, and then the second chord has a C, an E, a B flat, a D, and it's this mode. That's too much to think about and play at the same time. But since I know these cage shapes, I can just think of that G. Right? I know where those notes are. I'm not thinking about the individual notes. I just know what they are and how they sound because I've mastered those cage. And then when I go that C-shaped, right? And then when I go back to the G-shape, I know those notes. I know how they sound. I know the effect that they create. I know when I hit this G that I have a minor third right there because I know that's the root there. I know how that minor third sounds. I know how it resolves. I know that you have a major second there. I know how those sound together. I know that that major six is there. I know I have a minor third there that resolves to the major third. I know all this because I've practiced these shapes. Same thing with that C chord. I know I have the fifth, the third, the minor seven there, the root there. I can hit all these notes so fluidly. So not so musical, you know, but I just want to show you how you can get around these chords. I can play that G, C7 there. I can move the shape up here. G, C, that's an A-shaped C. So I have a C-shaped G, maybe an E-shaped C there, and then back to the C, G I mean. And let's do a D-shaped G. When I go to the A minor, I can play the A minor down here as an A minor shaped A minor. I can play it here as an E shaped A minor. I can play it here as a C shaped A minor. A G shaped A minor. I don't really like that. I don't like the G shaped minor chords. They mess with me. And then when I go this D7, I have an A shaped D7 there. I have a G-shaped D7 here. I have a C-shaped D7 here. See how easy it is to get around the notes without having to think about them. And that's what you want to do when you improvise. You want to be thinking about the music. You don't want to be thinking about the theory. So that's the application for caged. You can apply that to heavy metal. You can apply it to bluegrass. This is a style that a concept that transcends genres. Classical musicians use it, probably not as much. Jazz musicians, gypsy jazz, bluegrass musicians, metal, alternative. This is something that you need to know.